Election tensions have only increased in the last few days. Protesters hitting the streets around the country. Several incidents of Muslim women wearing hijabs being assaulted and robbed were reported to police just hours after the election results were announced, for instance. Joining us now is Haroon Mogul, Fellow Institute for Social Policy and Understanding, also Saba Ahmed, President and founder of the Republican Muslim Coalition. Good to see you both here. Haroon, I'll start with you on this. The Southern Law Poverty Center saying, reporting at least, incidents of hateful intimidation and harassment since the election. How do you put this all together, and what are you seeing right now?
So the single most common fear from every Muslim I've talked to since Trump's victory has been, what do we say to our kids? What's going to happen in schools? What's going to happen to the young people? And the reports I'm hearing are pretty alarming. Now, a lot of pundits and commentators have been saying that, you know, when Trump wins, it's not going to unleash violence. But the fact of the matter is that there already has been violence against minorities, including Muslims. This has been happening for a long time, and many of them are explicit Trump supporters. The fear now is it's only going to get worse because some of the people in Trump's base are explicitly racist and explicitly anti-Muslim. And the people he's allying himself with and naming for cabinet positions and so on and so forth are anti-Muslim radicals. What he's looking for is to put a publicly acceptable Muslim face on this to make it look like he's not an Islamophobe.
Saba, you're a supporter of Donald Trump now. You did change your stance on that. Put that together, please, if you can, with a recent report that showed crimes against Muslims increasing 78% from 2014 to 2015.
Well, I think we're here at the Republican Muslim Coalition trying to engage with the Trump administration to reach out to Muslims and having Muslims get involved within their Republican parties to change their rhetoric. I think the spike in hate crimes that we're seeing must be reported to local law enforcement, but the only way to resolve it for good is for Muslims to get involved within the Republican Party and to change their mindset about Islam and Muslims.
How do you discuss this, and how might you do this? You know, we just have to go back to March when Donald Trump was saying, quote, "I think Islam hates us."
Well, obviously he has toned down his anti-Muslim rhetoric quite a bit since he started the campaign. I think we need to look beyond that and focus on the larger issues facing the country. The reason I voted for Donald Trump was because I was interested in his successful business background and how he will be turning the economy around, how he will be focusing on job creation and less taxes for everyone. Those are the real issues that we are facing as Americans, not just Muslims, but all people. And it's sad to see the violent protests that are going on. And it's not just the Muslims, there's minorities who are scared. I think a lot of people that are facing fears are primarily liberal Democratic voters who were scared into voting for Clinton, and now, you know, they're trying to recover from that loss. And I think the best way to do that.
But we're not seeing violence in many of these protests. They have been peaceful, just to make sure that we hit that point here, Saba. Haroon,
well, I'm from Portland, Oregon, and there was violence over there, and I just want
to be specific that they're not all that way. Haroon, how do we discuss this with young Muslim children?
Well, we discuss it by pointing out the facts. There is a political party that has been taken over by a man who I consider to be a fascist. I don't think there's any point in engaging him. I think he's looking to use people like Saba, unfortunately, to put an acceptable face on this, to say, look, well, I have Muslims supporting me. How can I be an anti-Muslim bigot? I find this framing of the real issues to be offensive and dangerous and harmful, because real issues include democracy, pluralism, equality, and fairness, and human decency, things that he is not really interested in. And what we need to point out, too, is that Clinton won the popular vote. A lot of Muslims came out and voted. And a lot of people are supporting us. So, yes, the fact is that there is a political party that has been hijacked by extremism. But there is another political party that's standing up for us. So it is a tough time for Muslim kids, but we're not alone in this. And we have a lot of allies, we have a lot of supporters, and it's important to remember that we can stand up against bigotry without becoming tools for the enablement of further bigotry.
Saba?
I don't think that's fair to say that. I think the Republican Party has a place for all minorities, including Muslims. I've felt very much welcomed by them, and I hope that, you know, instead of demeaning each other, we can focus on the larger issues facing Americans and work together to resolve them. And I hope that community will get over its fears and, instead of playing the victim games, engage with the Trump administration to make policy changes. We can't complain in our homes, in our isolated circles. He will be the president-elect for the next 4 to 8 years, and you cannot afford to ignore him or his administration. We have to accept that him as our president and support him to the best of our abilities.
Saba Ahmed, thank you so much. Haroon Mogul as well. We'll have to leave it there. I thank you for both of your time.